play the game, I don't let the game play me. I'ma need my shirt back. Hey, this for legacy. I play the game, I don't let the game play me. I'ma need my shirt back. Hey, that's for legacy.
Chapter 5, the commit. All right, now that you done been through the whole process of laying the foundation, making your wish list, choosing your institution, and signing, you are now a commit, right? So this is the point. This is the point where you become associated with the institution, and everything just goes fast-paced from this point on. It's fast-paced from this point on. My main focus with this chapter was to tell you that the minute you sign and become a commit, that's the moment when the sport you love switches from being just a sport to being a business. This is the part where you switch from being a big fish in a small pond to being a small fish in a big pond. Making the decision to commit to an institution means that you've agreed to start completely over. I don't know if y'all really think about that when you commit, but a lot of people have trouble transitioning from high school to college because they feel like all the work they did in high school should like transfer over, but that's not the case. When you commit and you go to a new institution, you start on a clean slate, you know, it's fresh, and you have to solidify your status, right? And a lot of student athletes struggle with that because they were the star athletes at their high school, and now they're surrounded by other elite players. So it's definitely a transition for most. But I want you to understand that just because that shift happened doesn't mean that you have to let it happen to you. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to embody that. You have an opportunity to take your control back by redefining your identity and redefining your mission and your mindset. So in this chapter, we talk a lot about you taking control of your responsibilities and taking control of your experience. We talk about your mindset and the thoughts that you have and how you can switch those things around. This chapter is very activity heavy. There's a lot of worksheets in this chapter. And one of the main things that I talk about is operating from certain types of mindsets. So you have a deficiency mindset and you have a hope mindset. And based on the language that you use, you can kind of tell which mindset you're operating from. In essence, you don't ever want to operate from a deficiency mindset because you will never sustain that. That will never be good enough. Like, if you operate from a deficency mindset, you're never going to feel fulfilled. You're always going to feel like there's more that can be done. I have to prove myself. That's how you're going to feel. You're going to be a hamster on a wheel. But if you operate from a hope mindset, you're telling yourself, yes, this is challenging. You're acknowledging the issue. You're acknowledging it. But I'm going to do it anyway, and I trust that God is going to give me the strength to get through it. I mean, throughout this chapter, we talk about that, and I break down the different types of language people use when they're operating from each one of those mindsets. I give you scenarios, and then I tell you the translation of that scenario, and I really break down why it's important to always operate from a hope mindset. One of the major keys in this chapter is being teachable. Now, what I mean by being teachable is taking the time to understand that this opportunity is brand new. It's basically not having so many expectations on yourself and other people. And you're taking every moment for what's happening for what it is, right as it comes, instead of putting unrealistic expectations on it and making it something that's not what it is, right? So it's being patient and knowing what you bring to the table, like identifying your gifts and your role in this situation. It's very important that you define your role. Most institutions have a bottom line, and their goal is to win, get these TV deals, get all these endorsements, and make sure that their institution is thriving. And I think that if they have a bottom line, you should have a bottom line. When it comes to your progress and when it comes to your journey, you need to have a bottom line. So throughout this chapter, we talk about that as well. There's activities on that, your progress checks and evaluations, all of that good stuff. This chapter really breaks down some of the things that you may experience as a student athlete, especially when it comes to your professors, when it comes to dealing with people, classmates, all those different things. Some people have an idea of what they think a student athlete is, but they don't even know the beginning. Like, they don't understand what it is and how you're able to do these things. Some people have a horrible stereotype of what an athlete is, and sometimes you're gonna have to deal with the ignorance of others. So throughout this chapter, I talk about how to handle those situations, how to handle situations with your coaches, a bad coach that's like very much so disrespectful and on your head about everything. It's just I really brain dumped in this chapter, like, just to try to give you as much information as I can give you, so that you can be aware of some of the things you may see and understand the red flags so that you can identify it early. But one of the main things I want to talk about is playing time, coexisting with your teammates, and understanding what an elite athlete is. All right, so playing time is a given. At some point, you're going to play. But a lot of people feel like they should play from jump, right? A lot of people feel like they shouldn't have to wait because they were a star athlete in high school. People were because they were a star athlete in high school. But if I'm being honest, when you come to college, the only thing your highlight reel shows them is that you could possibly, really impact the team and make the team better, but they're not certain of that. So when you get on campus, it's your job to become mindful of your effort, mindful of the small things. Like, the goal is not to impress them. Like, it's not to focus on solely impressing them. It's about you working to become a better athlete and, building your skill set. If you focus on your effort level, being a better athlete, and doing the things that's going to make the team better as a whole, you'll stand out. You don't have to do anything extra. I feel like that's when a lot of people mess up, because they're surrounded by so many different types of people, especially if you were the star player and you're surrounded by other elite players. That's a culture shock. You're trying to figure out what the heck going on. Like, how do I even stand out? But you stand out by doing the small things, being considerate, being a good teammate, and not hating on each other, like being supportive. And you stand out by being secure in yourself and knowing that you've done enough. You know what I'm saying? Instead of focusing on trying to prove yourself and impress everybody else, focus on just being better. And that will get you where you need to be. Being elite is not just being good at your sport. It's being a cerebral player. It's like having the right mindset, having the talent and the skills. So if you want to be elite, you have to make time to really dive in on your craft, like really hone in on your craft and be one who learns how to work smarter, not harder. Like, I believe that elite athletes are not only good at their sport, they're not just talented, they're skilled, and they have a mindset that's going to take them to the next level. So we talk about that in the chapter as well. All right, y'all. If you need anything, be sure to contact us on all of our social media platforms at Level 27 Coaching, or come contact us on our website at www.level27coaching.com. I appreciate y'all, and I'm glad that y'all are reading. Congratulations on making it this far in the book. And I will talk to you soon. All right, bye.